Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Malone Record Service Betsy Shaw Show, presented by Critters Corner, where we cover everything on the court with the West Greene Lady Buffaloes basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with Lady Buffs head coach Betsy Shaw. Coach, how's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's been a few weeks since we sat down and talked. Christmas and New Year's kind of fell on weird days this year, so it wasn't a great time to do interviews centering around family events, basketball tournaments that, of course, we'll talk about, and other things happening. But in the meantime, the last time that we sat down, we previewed the Ladies Classic. Have to talk about the Ladies Classic now in the first game of the new year with UNACA. The Ladies Classic, another tough draw. It seems like every single year we sit down and talk about it, it gets tougher and tougher and tougher. Had Upperman, Knox Catholic, and Riverside. We talked about it off camera, how Upperman state runner-ups, Catholic back-to-back champions, and then Riverside out of state. Don't know, but if you're inviting a team out of state to the Ladies Classic, then they more than likely are a very good and very talented basketball team. So just take me through the Ladies Classic this year and just how tough of a stretch it was.
They were the team out of South Carolina was a 4A state champ last year.
So there you go.
Yeah. I told the girls, a lot of tournaments you go to when you lose, it gets easier. It never got easier. I mean, for us.
Yeah, really. You've played a runner-up, back-to-back, and another champion.
And we had a couple girls that were sick. Emily and Sarah missed the first two games for being sick, and then Joey missed and Sarah missed the last game for sickness. So it makes it even tougher when you've got some girls that aren't there. It's hard to say too much about it because it was a rough week for all of us. But something I was thinking about, those girls, they have great character about them. I know you don't know them, but they really do, and they continue to show up and continue to want to be better and play better. At the end of the game, our last game against South Carolina, they were killing us, and Morgan, I was telling Coach Boyer, let's take Morgan out. Morgan said, no, I'm good. I want to stay in. You hear a lot now of the college athletes who's wanting to opt out, half or whatever. I mean, that just kind of shows the person she is. And Emily was sick. She was really sick that last game. She come over there to the sideline once and, laying her head back. I just didn't make eye contact. So I was thinking maybe she'll be all right. But, it's tough to do that over your Christmas break, especially when it's teams like that. Everything was like that, and it never got any easier. But it's good to coach the bunch I have. They're great girls. They really are, and it's nothing I've done. I mean, it's them and their parents who's raised them like that. But I'm thankful to have the girls I have that go, and they did what they could. That's all. I mean, they really did. They were good. They were really good, and they continued to push on. They wanted to score and wanted to continue to score on us, and so. They tried. So I don't know. It's hard to say too much about it, but they did what they could.
It didn't get too much of a break going from the Ladies Classic, of course, right into the UNACA game because your Christmas tournament is the week after Christmas, and then you go right into your regular season games again. Do you like how that goes straight from the Ladies Classic to your regular season? I know the boys' tournaments are always before Christmas. They have close to 2 weeks off. You may have, I think right here, you had 4 days off between games. So do you like whenever you get to go straight back into competition that quick after the Ladies Classic instead of a long layoff?
Well, it depends on how we did in those games before the layoff.
I understand that.
If we do what we can and do well, then let's take. I mean, it's fine. Let's go play. If not, I think practice is very beneficial to try to regroup. So we've had a great week of practice. I know you said that we played the Ladies Classic, and then not too much after we played UNACA. We took a couple days off, but not many because we played again. But we've practiced a ton this week, so it's been a great week for practice for us. So
it's crazy how I think you have more of a break between the UNACA and North Greene games than you did before and to the Ladies Classic, and then the Ladies Classic to UNACA, just how the schedule shook out. But before we go to break, that UNACA game also. Very competitive first half. Very fun first half to watch. Sort of back and forth. I know you had leads at one point. They would come back, take the leads, and it would be neck and neck all the way. And then the third quarter got away from you, and the fourth quarter was another competitive quarter. It was just hard coming back from that deficit. You would cut it to 6 early in the fourth quarter too, but when the other team has a player as good as she was that scores an overwhelming amount of points, it's hard to counteract that. So take me through that Unaka game and some of the moments that you enjoyed in that game and some of the improvements that you want to make.
She scored. The girl you're talking about scored 30 points.
Yes,
that's good.
That's hard to counteract.
We tried 4 different girls guarding her. I mean, we went to somewhat of it. Like we went into a zone for a little bit. That was even worse. We started in a box of 1 and did that for a while with different players guarding her. But we even tried pressing. She's really skilled. But
Very talented.
We could do better. We've got to do something differently when they come here on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I think
You playing on that day?
Yeah, we are. So like
That is right. Yeah, it's right there.
we're gonna have to make some changes. We will. I mean, we have goals we set each game, and then scoring goals, offensive rebound, and turnover goals. And we met those because typically when we score around that margin, I mean normally the game's closer, we win when we score at least that much, but. We just didn't. We did not do a good job on her, and so I've got to come up with a better plan. That's my fault. I've got to do better with her. So I'll come up with something different. But she's good. I mean, she was, but we can make some changes.
Got a little bit of a break before you go into 3 back-to-back county games now. Got North Greene, South Greene, and Chucky Doak. Won't talk about Chucky Doak too much because we'll sit down before then. But, of course, North Greene and South Greene coming up. Before we talk about those too much, though, we need to go ahead and get a break in first. So we'll be right back after the break to talk about that pair of county games here in just a minute here on Grassroots Media.
For more than 30 years, Tommy's Plumbing has served customers in East Tennessee with licensed and professional plumbing services. From installing your new faucet to replacing your existing piping system, our team at Tommy's Plumbing is trained to handle the job with professionalism, attention to detail, and integrity. By offering warranties on most products installed by our technicians, Tommy's Plumbing stands behind our work, ensuring that your plumbing needs are not only met, but that your problem is solved for the long term. When you need reliable and professional plumbing service, Tommy's is the only call to make. So give us a call today and let us show you the Tommy's difference.
Pizza Inn offers contactless buffet to go with JoJo's Family Feast or anything on our menu for carryout. We also honor birthday parties and cater to businesses and large events. We make it easy. Call us today. Pizza Inn Greenville.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Malone's Record Service Betsy Shaw Show, presented by Critters Corner, where we discuss everything on the court with the West Greene Lady Buffaloes basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with head coach Betsy Shaw. So you got those 3 straight county games coming up, North Greene, South Greene, Chucky Doak. We'll talk about the first 2 before we sit down next week and then review those and talk about Chucky Doak. You play 2 county games. They're both on the road. Fortunately, you don't have to travel too far. North Greene on Saturday, weather permitting, and then South Greene on Tuesday. The North Greene game with the weather, we're unsure if it will be played yet, but assuming it will be played, non-district game against them before you go into an important district game against South Greene. So take me through your upcoming schedule in those 2 games.
Like you said, Saturdays, North Greene, I don't think we'll play. I mean, we might, but I don't think the weather will allow us to. And then South Greene on Tuesday. So, exciting times.
And, of course, South Greene, we get back into the conference slate now. Looking at your schedule, you'll have South Greene followed by Chucky Doak. You'll have that non-conference with Unaka on MLK Day. Then you'll have Hampton, Happy Valley, Johnson County. South Greene, another stretch of 4 straight conference games. So we're getting into the conference games now. One of the most important parts of the season, I think the most important, of course, is when you enter postseason play in the district tournament and the region tournament. But, of course, the most important part of the regular season now coming up. You start that stretch here in January and February with South Greene on Tuesday. I know you've taken a few losses coming into this stretch too. Unaka game, as we talked about, very competitive first half against them. If you can have that same team show up in these conference games, how confident are you going forward into this stretch?
Well, I'm hoping that team shows up. We are hoping to have 4 quarters of consistency, some stuff. I mean, we're up and down in terms of quarters. You know, it depends on what quarter, what we do. And so hoping to have a lot more consistency, especially since it's conference play. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm excited. The girls are excited to play. You know, we maybe not go to North Greene on Saturday, and then we get to go to Rebel Hill on Tuesday. So it's exciting to get to play the conference games, but we'll see.
Hey, luckily you don't have to travel too far the next week and a half.
Yeah. Go
cross county for 2 of them and then stay put with Chucky Doak before you go, or actually you play Unaka and Hampton back-to-back at home. So almost for the rest of the month, you don't have to get on a bus and travel, but that's all we've got this week, Coach. Once again, appreciate you sitting down with me. Thank you once again. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Malone's Record Service Betsy Shaw Show, presented by Critters Corner. Look forward to seeing you next time here on Grassroots Media.